Hello dear children, welcome back. I'm Dr. Jisha Jo. Today we are starting with a new chapter, the circulatory system, which comes under the third unit, human anatomy and physiology. In all the living organisms, if we look, we can see there are certain fluids circulating in the body, and these fluids are involved in supplying substances to the various parts of the body or collecting substances from the different parts of the body. So in this chapter, we will study about the circulatory fluids in our body, their composition and their function. First, let us have a look at the need for a circulatory system. Now, every system in our body requires the involvement of a circulatory system or the circulatory fluids. For example, if we take the digestive system, the digested food materials from the intestine need to be transported to the different parts of the body. This is done with the help of the circulating fluid. Number 2, the next system which is involved is the respiratory system. The oxygen that is present in the lungs is to be transported to the different parts of the body, to each and every cell of our body. This occurs with the help of the circulating fluid. Similarly, the carbon dioxide that is produced in every cell has to be brought back to the lungs to be expired out. This is also done with the help of the circulating fluid. Then, number 3, excretory system. Excretory system. The removal of waste materials, urea, excess salts, etc. have to be removed from our body. Again, these waste materials from the different parts of the body are transported to the kidneys, from where they are excreted out. Again, it is with the help of the circulating fluids these waste materials reach the kidneys. Then number 4 is the endocrine system. That is, the hormones that are produced by the different glands are transported to the site of action, again through the circulating fluid. So these are the need, or these explains the need for the circulatory system in our body. So every system in our body requires the involvement of the circulating fluids. So the digestive system, how is it involved? The digested food has to be transported to the different parts of the body. Respiratory system, the oxygen present in the lungs has to be transported to the different parts of the body, to each and every cell of our body, and the carbon dioxide produced as a waste material needs to be brought back to the lungs to be expired out. Then excretory system, the waste materials, excess salts, the nitrogenous waste, etc. that are formed in the body needs to be transported to the kidneys to be excreted out. And the endocrine system, the hormones that are produced in the various glands by the various glands are transported to the site of their action, again through the circulating fluid. Now let us have a look at the different types of fluids in our body. There are 3 principal fluids in our body. They are the blood, the tissue fluid, and the lymph, of which the blood and the lymph are circulating fluids. Blood and lymph are the circulating fluids. Tissue fluid is the fluid that is present between the spaces or in the spaces between the cells. Tissue fluid is the fluid that is present in the spaces between the cells. They are not circulating fluids, whereas blood and lymph are the 2 circulating fluids in our body. The 3 principal fluids in our body are the blood, tissue fluid, and lymph, and the 2 circulating fluids are the blood and the lymph. Blood flows through the blood vessels and lymph flows through the lymph vessels, and tissue fluid is the fluid that is present in the spaces between the cells. Now there are two types of blood circulatory systems. As we have seen, in our body, the blood flows through blood vessels. When blood flows through closed blood vessels, then this system is called the closed circulatory system. Closed circulatory system. In closed circulatory system, the blood flows through closed blood vessels, as in the case of human beings. Whereas the second type of circulatory system is the open circulatory system. Open circulatory system. In this type of circulatory system, you can see that the blood flows through open spaces. No blood does not flow through the blood vessels. No blood vessels are present there, but blood flows through open spaces in the body, and such a type of circulation of blood is called as the open circulatory system, as we can see in the case of insects. So, blood circulatory system is of two types, the closed circulatory system and the open circulatory system. The closed circulatory system is seen in humans, where the blood flows through closed blood vessels, whereas in the case of open circulatory system, the blood flows through open spaces and not through blood vessels, as you can see in the case of insects. Moving on to the characteristic features of blood. Characteristics of blood. First one, blood is never stationary. Blood is never stationary, it is always in motion. It is never stationary, it is always in movement. Number two, color of blood. It is red in color, it is bright red in the arteries and dark red inside the veins. Next, volume. The volume of blood in a normal adult human being is 5 to 6 liters. 5 to 6 liters of blood is there in the body of an adult human being. And the taste, fourth feature, taste. It is saltish in taste. So these are the features of blood. First point, it is never stationary. Blood is always in motion inside the blood vessels. Color, it is red in color, bright red inside the arteries and dark red inside the veins. The volume of blood, a normal adult will have 5 to 6 liters of blood in his body. The taste of blood is saltish. Blood has two-fold functions. First function is transportation and second function is protection. Protection. So what are the things that are transported through blood? First one, we have already seen, digested food. Digested food. Then second one, just think of it, we have already studied that. What is the next thing that is transported? Respiratory gases. Yes, oxygen is transported from the lungs to the different parts of the body or to the cells. Next, carbon dioxide from the cells to the lungs. Carbon dioxide, which is formed as a waste product during respiration, has to be transported from the cells back to the lungs. Then what is the next thing that is to be transported? We have seen excretory material, excretory products or the waste materials. Excess salts, urea, nitrogenous waste like urea, ammonia, etc. need to be transported to the kidney to be excreted out. So these are transported through the blood. Then we have seen hormones. Hormones are transported to the site of their action through blood. Then next point is heat distribution. The flow of blood helps in the distribution of heat throughout the body. So these are the transportation functions of blood. Okay, so blood has twofold functions. The first function is transportation. Blood helps in the transportation of digested food, helps in the transportation of oxygen from lungs to the different parts of the body, helps in the transport of carbon dioxide from each and every cell of our body back to the lungs, then helps in the transportation of excretory products or waste materials from the different parts of the body to the kidney, then helps in the transport of hormones to the site of their action, and the blood flow helps in the distribution of heat throughout the body. So these are the transportation functions of blood. Now moving on to the protection function of blood. Blood helps in blood clotting, clot formation. So when a wound is formed, when a cut or injury is formed, we know that soon after a wound or cut is formed, a clot will be formed at the region of wound. This is due to the blood platelets. We will study in detail about the formation of clot, but that is one of the protective function of blood, that is the the production of clot or the formation of clot. And why is a clot formed at the injured region? The first reason, it prevents more loss of blood from the body, and also it prevents the entry of germs into the body through the wound or the cut part. So these are the two functions of clot. So first function is it prevents the excess flow of blood from the body, and number two, it prevents the entry of germs into the body. The second protective function is that the white blood cells engulf the disease-causing bacteria. If any disease-causing bacteria or germ enter into our body, the white blood cells engulf these bacteria and prevent the body from getting the disease. That is another protection function of blood. Then the third protection function is it produces antitoxins and antibodies. Antitoxins and antibodies are produced. Again, the WBCs are involved in the formation of antitoxins and antibodies. So, when any toxin, what is an antitoxin? When a toxic substance enters into our body, the WBCs secrete antitoxins against the toxin that enters into our body, thereby protecting our body from the effect of the toxin. Similarly, antibodies are produced when any disease-causing germ enters into our body, as the germ or the bacteria will have antigens on them, and antigens and antibodies are proteins. And our body, the WBCs of our body, produce antibodies to fight against these antigens of the bacteria or the germs that enter into our body. So these are the protection or protective functions of blood. Once again, clot formation, which is involved. The blood platelets are involved in the formation of clot, and the functions of clot: it prevents excess loss of blood from the body, and it protects the body from the entry of germs. And number two, the WBCs engulf the disease-causing bacteria that might have entered into our body. And the third protective function is, again, the WBCs are involved in the production of antitoxins and antibodies. So we have seen the functions of blood. Blood has twofold functions: the transportation function and the protection function. So what are the things that we saw in this video? We have seen the need for the circulatory system. We have seen which are the circulatory fluids in our body. We have seen the three principal fluids, and the circulating fluids are the blood and the lymph. Then we have seen the difference between the closed circulatory system and the open circulatory system. And we have finally come to the functions of blood. The functions of blood. Blood has twofold functions: the transportation function and the protection function. Blood is a circulating fluid. Similarly, we have also seen lymph also as a circulating fluid. But there are certain fluids in our body which are not circulating, as we have seen the tissue fluid or the synovial fluid that is present inside in the synovial joint, or the vitreous humor that is present in the eyes. These are fluids which are non-circulating. So children, I hope what we have learned in this video is clear to you. If you have any doubts or suggestions, please give your doubts and suggestions in the comment section. Thank you.